CBC News has obtained court documents connected to that deadly 2019 boat crash. 2 people killed. The crash that involved businessman Kevin O'Leary. One boat was driven by his wife, Linda. What CBC News has learned in these documents is the driver of the other boat was quietly convicted last fall. Katie Nicholson reports today.
It was a dark, starlit night on Lake Joseph when what was meant to be a stargazing trip ended in death. 2 boats collided, killing 2 people, and nearly 2 years later, little light has been shed on what happened. Behind the wheel of one of those boats, Linda O'Leary, charged with careless operation of a vessel under the Canada Shipping Act. Behind the wheel of the other boat, Dr. Richard Roux, charged with failing to display a stern navigation light. Now, these provincial offense documents show Dr. Roux waived his right to a trial and opted instead to pay the fine, $150 plus a $30 surcharge. It was a ticketable offense. Now, his lawyer originally indicated he wanted to take the matter to trial, but last September they decided to simply pay the ticket but not make any admission of guilt. Roux submitted this letter when he paid the fine. In it, he says, "I understand that I will be deemed not to dispute the charge and that a justice may enter a conviction against me." He also indicated he understood that this means that a conviction may be entered without the prosecution calling any evidence, despite the fact I will not be entering a guilty plea or participating in a trial. Now, Roux's lawyer, Mark Sandler, explains why he decided against a trial.
Rather than come back to Canada to have a lengthy trial and revisit some of the trauma that everybody experienced over this, he chose not to contest the matter, which does not mean that he pleaded guilty.
So what does that mean? Criminal lawyer Karen MacArthur says by paying the ticket but not making any admission of guilt, it makes things a little murky for the other cases linked to the crash.
It doesn't happen very often. You're sort of saying, I'm going to get it over with for administrative purposes, but I'm not admitting any liability. And so in doing that, in not admitting any liability, he protects himself to a degree, both civilly and will undercut the Linda O'Leary defense.
Susanna Brito and Gary Poltash were killed in the crash. Their families are among those who have launched civil suits. The lawyer representing Brito's family says he thinks the Roux ticket will help in his case, even though there was no guilty plea because on the books, it's still a conviction. As for the upcoming O'Leary trial, Linda O'Leary's lawyer declined comment on how the conviction might affect his case. The trial is scheduled to start in Parry Sound in June. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.